As far as uh, the positive sides are concerned, I must say that sound has become very, very refined. The technology is brilliant. The talent. You look at singers, you look at composers, you look at musicians. Talent is very sharp. Music basically would always need a bass. And as far as our music, Indian music is concerned, whether it's pop or whether it's cinema or ghazal or devotional or anything, the base, the foundation is formed by classical music. And our Indian classical music is so very powerful. It's not even powerful, I would say. It's foundation. We are all standing on it. So if you took the music of say 60s or 70s or 80s or 90s in cinema, you'll realize that every song was based on some classical ragas or some classical bit. The current music is doing away with that foundation of classical music. The current generation music which is being produced today is not using that base. The second issue is that we have whole lot of very, very interesting acoustic instruments. Electronic sounds are very refined, obviously, because they come from a very, very refined and very, very sophisticated devices. So those sounds are very, very good. But the electronic sounds somehow do not touch that chord in your heart. The acoustic instruments have that strength, that capability of doing it. So I think we, as musicians, we miss the acoustic sound. We miss the classical bass, and we feel that we should not deviate so much from our foundation. The only area where they come close to this is fusion, because fusion is still based on classical music. A lot of fusion music is based on classical music, so that you have the electronic sound, you have whole lot of contemporary sound, but along with acoustic instruments, along with classical music.
What is your word on the reality shows, on the talent hunt that we have today?
I think the reality shows are done with. There was a time, I would say, that reality show was a novelty, number one. Number two, that reality shows were authentic. Number three, that reality shows were very, very exciting. But now, I feel that the current generation reality shows have, because I guess every television channel, I'm not pointing a finger at anybody, but I'm just talking in general, that because of cutthroat competitions for TRP, etc., the television channels are obviously resorting to all kinds of gimmicks, all kinds of methods to make sure that these reality shows get fantastic TRPs. Um, there are shows where you see that the participants are prompted to cry. There are shows where you see that participants are prompted to fight. Shows where you see that all kinds of things are happening. Obviously, these are all staged, anecdotes which they create to make them more user friendly, or to emotionally blackmail the audiences. So I think that's the downside of the reality shows. The good side of reality shows is that we still find a lot of young and very, very extremely talented people on reality shows. And I have seen some children, and I really feel that this country is full of talent. In India, we have such amazingly talented children. Only thing is, my worry, I would say, is that all these children who are so very talented, they come on these reality shows, they become very popular, they they have this one season. So during that season, they become very popular. But after the season is over, these talented children, see, you may find one winner, but what about the rest? Because the rest are also equally talented, not that they are not talented. The talented children, after the season is over, go off the scanner, go off the limelight, go off the focus, and then they struggle to kind of keep up the pace, keep up with the music world, and somehow they get disillusioned. And when they get disillusioned, they'll end up singing either Kishore Kumar songs or Mohammad Rafi songs, or old Bollywood songs, etc. And you really wish that these children would sing something original, sing something of their own, sing something which is new, and prove their talent. But unfortunately, they do not get a platform to prove their talent, or they do not get the backup of the audio companies to come out with new albums, etc. So that's the downside of reality shows.
Your first break was on a stage show during you sang "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logo."
Correct.
The struggle beyond that, the training and the struggle beyond that, because obviously reality shows are doing sort of what has been your struggle, and how was it in your age?
When we were growing up, the struggle, the whole pattern of struggle was different, because when we were growing up, Bollywood was always very dominant. Everything revolved around Bollywood. So every single kid who was singing always thought of becoming a playback singer, always thought of becoming either Kishore Kumar or Mohammad Rafi or Manna Dey. The other issue was that cinema industry was very, very close knit, and it was more or less shut for outsiders. In the late 60s or early 60s, late 60s, it was very difficult for someone to break into cinema, because I no other reason, but simple reason that there were such competent singers like Rafi Saab, Kishore Da, Mukesh Ji, Manna Dey, that no producer, no director, no music director wanted to take a chance with a newcomer.
Okay.
My case is different from all the others, because when I started my struggle to make a name for myself, I had only one aim and one focus, that I wanted to be a ghazal singer. I never pursued that I should become a cinema singer or a film singer. And obviously it was a tall order, because you can imagine that in 70s, when nobody was really was interested in ghazals, basically, when ghazals were not really into the forefront, you thought of doing ghazals and singing ghazals and becoming successful. So it was really a far-fetched dream, actually. But somehow I was so confident. I must admit, and I must say, that it took me 9 years to really cut my first album. So you can imagine that 9 years I struggled, making rounds of music audio labels, meeting people, singing for them all the time, trying to tell them that I am a ghazal singer. So I can never forget in my life. Obviously, when I write about my book, I'm going to write a whole lot of anecdotes on a whole lot of memories on my struggle, that how I struggled to break it into the ghazal industry. And it was with great difficulty. And in those days, you must have seen the long play records, I'm sure. Yeah. So in those days, to have a long play record on your name, or say that, so and so by Pankaj Udas, that long play was like winning probably the biggest ever award on this earth. So when I got my first long play, you can imagine my happiness or my excitement. It was an album called Art, which was made in 1980. So from 1971, It took me nearly 9 years to do the album in 1980.
Amazing. So from 1980, from an LP, what we call it today, a long play LP, to digital, releasing your single, a digital on digital platform. How do you think it has changed in terms of at least reaching the medium, at least reaching out to the audience, in terms of reaching out to the audience?
No, as I told you earlier, that I always believed in moving with the time. I never became stagnant in life. I always felt that I must move with the time. I must make sure that I'm not left behind. And that's the reason my latest venture was a couple of months back, was a launch of a single. Generally, ghazals are done by albums, singers release ghazal albums, but I thought, why not do a single? The reason for doing a single was that, as we all know, that we have now reached a phase in the music world, as far as music business is concerned, that the physical format of music is slowly, it's not going out, but it's almost gone out. The listeners today are not buying physical cassettes, CDs, etc. Listeners are downloading music. So I said that I must move with the listeners so that I can reach out to a larger audience across the world, because when you are on a digital platform, anybody sitting anywhere in the world can access your music, anybody can download it, anybody can listen to it. So I have gone a step further and released Khwabon Ki Kahani only on digital platform, so that people can download and listen to it.
Which brings us to our probably our penultimate question here, and it's a fan question. Her name is Vidya Priya, and she says, "I'm a huge fan of yours. Hi Pankaj, I'm a huge fan of yours. Which is your favorite song?" I want to add to it. I want to hear that song as well, not just know it, but I mean, obviously, even Miss Priya would want to.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite song? And please sing us. We can't let you go without letting us sing.
It's so very difficult to pick one, because when I've done more than 50, 60 albums, and when I have so many numbers to my credit, it's very difficult to say that, oh, this particular number. I think Diwaron Se Milkar Rona Acha Lagta Hai is one of my favorite number. And the beauty is that I recorded this ghazal in 1980. And even today, after all these years, when I sit on the stage in a concert, I have to sing this ghazal because people just love this ghazal. So I think Diwaron Se Milkar would certainly be one of my most favorite ghazal. दीवारों से मिलकर रोना अच्छा लगता है, हम भी पागल हो जाएंगे ऐसा लगता है.
Thank you so much, sir. It was lovely talking to you.
That was the time that the whole music approach to music was changing.